this morning Congressman David Valadao via satellite from Washington, D.C. He has reaction to President Trump's address this morning. Good morning, Congressman. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, Congressman David Valadao, you were not a big supporter of candidate Donald Trump. How did you think President Trump did last night?
You know, I think he did well. I actually think he did a good job of pushing a strong message out on moving our country forward and bringing us all together.
Mr. Trump touted his successes in the first month of his presidency in the way of stimulating job growth and ramping up deportations of criminals who are undocumented. Do you think that his first 39 days in office have been a success?
Well, I'm going to have to agree with him that his messaging hasn't been the strongest. But I do believe he's done a lot of really good things. And I think that it's important to focus on the actions because those, I think, at the end of the day are the most important. I think he's done some really good things when it comes to jobs, when it comes to the economy and helping people get back to work.
And last night, President Trump talked about immigration reform and said we should adopt a merit-based immigration system. What do you think of that proposal?
Well, an immigration reform is a complicated topic, and it's something that I'm willing to work with him on. But to just talk about as far as folks who actually want to immigrate to this country, we're ignoring guest worker programs and different things that are very important as well. Those are all things that need to be talked about and looked for. But we want to make sure that those come to this country are self-sufficient. When people come to this country, that they are coming to chase the American dream and to take care of themselves, not to be a burden on society. So I think there's a lot of, it's a good place to start, or at least a good topic to start with.
And the president also talked about his much contested travel ban now under appeal. What's your position on the restrictions that Trump wants placed on these countries with majority Muslim populations?
So President Trump and his when he came in with this ban, it's important to know that I do believe the president wants to keep us safe, and he came in with years of watching a lot of refugees come to this country, problems that we're seeing around the world, and then having the opportunity to do something for himself and for our country. I do believe the president did his best to do what he thought was right, and I believe it's important to take a good hard look, especially like he said yesterday, countries that don't have the ability to do proper vetting. We do have to make sure that folks that come to this country are who they say they are and that they're not here to do us harm. And in some of these countries it is difficult because they literally have no sort of infrastructure to know who these people are. No birth certificates, no wedding certificates, high school transcripts, school transcripts. I mean, those are all things that are important to really help us know who these people are before they come in. And I think the president is trying to do his best there.
That being said, should we be turning away refugees then perhaps who are trying to flee their war-torn country in the face of these stricter vetting stipulations?
Well, you have to be careful, too, that we bring so many folks into our country that we literally leave no one behind who can be an ally to help bring their countries back and put them in a place where they need to be. So we have to be careful that we don't bring so many folks that it actually is a detriment to the country that they're fleeing. I understand people fleeing a terrible situation. I've supported legislation in the past, and I'll continue to be supportive, but we have to think about the big picture, and we have to think about the long term when we make these types of decisions.
And then lastly, really quickly here, healthcare, another big topic last night. A lot of people have said, why repeal the entire Obamacare? Why not just go in and fix the places that need fixing? Do you think that that's a possibility, or do you think the whole thing needs to be gone?
You know, I think everything should be on the table. I think we should have a real conversation about the parts that work and the parts that don't work. And we're trying to have that debate right now. It's getting a little more partisan. I do believe that we're taking the right approach. We're talking about it, and soon we'll have legislation out. I don't want to see another situation where you'll have to pass it to see what's in it. I want to make sure that we know what we're getting into, because we don't want to pull the rug out from under people. We want to make sure people are protected. We want to make sure that we take care of those who truly need our help, but also don't punish those who are trying to also take care of themselves. The Affordable Care Act came into place. It did raise a lot of rates. I have families in my district that have benefited from it, and I have a lot of families in my district that have been hurt by it. So we have to have a real conversation about the repairs, but it sounds like the repeal is the first step, and replace will be along with it. As long as we do what's right for the American people, I'll follow along and see how it works.
All right, Congressman David Valadao, we are out of time this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.